Okay, everybody, this is Emar Substitute, the Sports Inquirer, and we're joined by Gracen Crosby from Georgia State Women's Soccer. Grayson, the team had a very interesting contest at Monroe, able to get a 3-3 tie. You were down 2 goals. You had a big part in the comeback and again the first goal as well. But overall impressions of that contest and what it meant for the team to get some points.
I think it was really important for our team and the confidence of our team going into the following game on Sunday that we were able to draw that game, because I think starting the second half, nobody really thought that we were gonna come back the way we did, but then we just started playing the way that we know how to play and started playing better, which led to 2 more goals after they had put us down 3-1, and then we ended up tying the game. And I think for the most part, we definitely had a chance to come back in the overtimes, especially, but it just ended up drawing. But it was still a good game.
Yeah, you scored a penalty kick in the 24th minute to tie the game in the first half, a 1-1. One, who decides who takes the penalty kicks? And two, what is your approach when you're facing an opponent? Do you do any scouting? Do you kind of read the goalkeeper, or do you have a intention to go to one side of the net? How do you approach a penalty kick?
It's the penalties kind of decided on who wants to take it on the field and who thinks they're gonna score. But when I personally go up to take a penalty, it's more of I always go to the left side and just make sure it's a driven ball into the corner if I'm lucky.
Okay. How did that process go to decide that you were going to take the kick?
We take penalties in practices because we do 7-a-side, and if there's 2 corners, then it's just a penalty kick. And so I'd been taking penalties in practices, and I'd scored, I think, 4 or 5 in the practice prior to the game. So then I was just confident that I would score that one.
Yeah, and you did a good job there. You also had a big hand in the tying goal. You crossed the ball into the box, and Ava Diaz was able to score the goal. What about that goal and setting her up for that equalizer?
Yeah, we actually just started practicing 2 new corners, and I think they're a lot more effective than our corners in the past because I think they allow more movement in the box to free up players. And Ava's really good in the air, and she just got on the end of it.
Yeah, and you were able to follow that contest up with a 1-0 victory at Appalachian State. The team was able to force an own goal late in the second half. But what about getting that victory, traveling to Boone, which is not the shortest trip from Atlanta, but going on the road and getting a conference victory? What was that like for the team?
Again, I think that was a big confidence boost for the team, and I think it was definitely something that the team needed. And I think it was both a combination of us being super strong defensively and then super aggressive attacking wise, because even though it was an own goal, it was still caused by our pressure and people getting into the box and crossing balls. And I think it'll boost our confidence going into the following games that we have this upcoming weekend.
You've seen an increase in playing time and production this year. You already have 8 points on the year, 3 goals and 2 assists. What's been the difference from your freshman campaign last year into this year as a sophomore to see this increase in production?
Yeah, I think this year I'm more, I guess I would say almost invested, but I think I'm just finding myself in better positioning and understanding the team a lot better than I did last year because I have more experience with the players on the field. And I think it's easier to play with people when you know how to play with them. And I think that helped a lot. In last year, it's really common for freshmen to come in super timid. And I think I was super timid coming in as a freshman. So it wasn't allowing me to play my best. And I think this year, a lot of those nerves are gone with being a sophomore. And I think it's just more so I'm more involved in the team dynamic this year than I was last year, which helps me perform better.
And last year with the pandemic, I'm sure it was a different type of freshman year. What about this year as far as yourself and the team, as far as being more comfortable and having a different type of season just on and off the field compared to 2020?
Yeah, I think last year it was really hard for us to kind of get to know each other better off the field, especially because we would see each other at training and practices, but we weren't really it wasn't really something you could like you could go to the park with some of your friends or something like that. It just was a lot harder to find things to do off the field that could like help with team bonding because we had like Zoom meetings to help with team bonding, but it's just not the same as in-person interaction. So I think this year with more COVID restrictions being lifted and like us allowing to be around each other more helps the freshmen and like even the sophomores get to know each other better and like get to know the team better and like I guess just make friends with everybody on the team.
Were you able to return to the state of Washington this off season, or did you stay in Atlanta?
No, I went home over the summer and I was home from about the beginning of May till the end of June because I came down a little early, just to like see everybody before preseason started. But yeah.
Yeah, and you're originally from the state of Washington, and you're playing college soccer in Atlanta, Georgia. What was that recruitment process like to move across the country to play the sport?
Yeah, well, I wanted to kind of make college an adventure, and I really liked the way the team dynamic was on my visit, and I just like the environment, and so it helped a lot with me making my decision to come here. And I definitely don't regret coming here, but it was a lot to transition into moving here. It took me a while to adjust to like being so far away from home and being in a new like city that I'd never really been in prior to going to school here, but it definitely took some time, but it was a good choice.
I mean, what are the main differences? Is it even things like time zone, or is it you mentioned just being in a different city. What were those adjustments that you had to get used to?
Um, some of it is time zone, but not really. A lot of it was, I guess, being far away from my family. And I'm from Spokane, which isn't a small city, but it's also not a super big city. And Atlanta's a really big city, and there's always things going on. And you always kind of have to be a little more aware of your surroundings and stuff. Whereas, like, in Spokane, it wasn't as much.
Sure. And now the team faces Coastal Carolina on October 1st. You mentioned just building the momentum and getting better. What is the team doing to accomplish that as you prepare for your next set of conference matches?
We've had a couple really good trainings so far this week, and I think everybody's spirits super high and just ready for our next game. Um, I think we're also uh, we started playing in a new formation, kind of a little different from what we had played a few games prior to the App State game, and I think working on that formation a lot this week has like helped us learn how to play in it better and understand where the free passes are better and move the ball a lot better.
As a midfielder who also pushes forward, what's that adjustment like for you and your responsibilities on the pitch?
It definitely frees up a lot of space with the new because we switched from having two in the middle to three, and it opens up a lot more space and it gives you a lot more time on the ball, but there's also still back pressure. So we work on bouncing the ball a lot. But I enjoy the new formation a lot.
And do you see yourself now when you mention the formations? Do you change them in the middle of a contest? Do you because you're on with a one game plan, but I'm sure you make adjustments during a contest.
We normally don't switch our formation in the middle of the game just because I think it throws off a lot of people's mentalities. But it's more of like if there's things that are happening over and over again, like flaws in what we're playing, we'll switch it in practice or like work on a new one to see if it suits the way we play better.
Well, thank you for your time, Grayson. We appreciate it, and good luck against Coastal this weekend.
Thank you.